Hi and hello, watch fans. This is your friendly neighborhood jeweler, Alain Joseph, sitting in the glass igloo at Bvlgari, and I'm very, very happy. Besides that, I have a beautiful lady in front of me. She's a dear friend, and what a power girl she is. Catherine Eberle-Devaux, welcome.
Thank you, Alan. Hello, everyone.
We know each other from my past life as a big fan of Bvlgari, because you are the global PR director of watches.
Yes, indeed.
And you are a rock star because together with a few brands, Bvlgari was at the heart of Geneva Watch Days. You celebrated your 5th anniversary last summer. I've attended all. It started as a intimate party of brands, friends, press, and retailers. And it actually still is. It became a very important event on the calendar of not only the watch industry, but also the luxury industry. For those that are not that familiar, why did you guys decide to start this fair, this event, this collective of happenings where you are the general director of the organization for now more than 5 years? And you've run it with Swiss precision, like a Swiss watchmaker. It has been none to par. It's been excellent and very casual and fun.
Well, first, Alan, thank you very much. I love to hear your words. They are fantastic, and I'm very proud of what you say because basically you got the whole spirit, the whole mindset of the core of what we want, what we initiated, what we try to do, and where we want to go. And to answer straight to the point to your question, so the why, you remember, so you said that we celebrated our 5th anniversary. It means that the first one was in 2020. And in 2020, the planet got to a stop due to COVID. And that year, all the international fairs had to stop because the period of the year where they usually sit was the worst part of this COVID pandemic, meaning spring. Yet, especially in Switzerland, the measures, the sanitary measures, got to a slight lift by the end of the summer. And Jean-Christophe Babin, CEO of Bvlgari, and today also CEO of LVMH Watches and president of the Geneva Watch Days, did a few phone calls to some CEOs' friends like Patrick Prugnot, Gérard Perregaux, Ulysse Nardin, like Georges Kern from Breitling, De Bethune, Pierre-Jacques, Félix from Uhrwerk. And altogether, they decided that watches is more important, is something that you cannot do only via Zoom. Zoom and WhatsApps helped us to go through, but still we were missing the most important. And the most important is not only to put the watches on our wrist, to see them and to smell them, but it is mostly to hug each other. This is the whole point of this industry. So, despite all the difficulties, the city and the canton of Geneva have been highly supportive since day one to allow the big pavilion to sit on the Rotonde du Mont Blanc and people together. You were one of the first, you were there at the first edition. Maybe it was only a couple of hundred of people. It was 19 brands. And today, we are on the path of the 6th edition with more than 60 brands. Last year, we welcomed 13,000 people to the exhibition that we have in the pavilion, just to give you how we grew in these 5 years. As managing this event, my first and foremost focus is to keep this friendly spirit. And this friendly spirit, again, is what make our industry, the watchmaking, so special. But it is also because we have altogether a responsibility towards this sector. We have the responsibility to make it visible, to make it alive, to make it vivid for the purpose of the business, of course, but also because a watch is an object. All the watches that we have here, we are surrounded by the most exceptional brand. This is the International Watch Week, with Watches and Wonders and Time to Watches, plus all the brands that are in the city. A watch is an exceptional object. This is something that you buy rarely, occasionally. So if we don't keep the flame, it could disappear. We have to be all conscious that this is our common responsibility to keep going and to make this best kept secret, that is what is a mechanical movement, what is inside the watch, why can you find so many different type of aesthetics, the métier d'art, all this rich environment, alive and growing. This is not just the mission of one brand, and this is not one brand that can do it. Of course, we contribute, but we contribute all together as a community, as a watch family. So what you do is part of that, and I guess that this is why we are friends since the first day we met, because just in one eyesight we understand each other, and we understand that this is the mission we have.
I totally agree. I've been on record many times. I've been interviewed. I've written articles that I still miss Basel World, and my heart fills with joy. Every year we progress from that few dormant years of no fairs, that we're going there again. And why? Basel World was the watch world the luxury world. It wasn't just watch, it was also jewelry. And the makers. And it was international. You just said it. It's the International Watch Week. It's not a European party. That we're coming together. We not only celebrate it, we work hard and we play hard. It's a rhetorical question, of course, and I love it. I always say I see my old friends, make new friends, and nothing beats FaceTime. And I don't mean Apple FaceTime, but literally people seeing each other. And you said it beautifully, to hug each other. It's a rhetorical question I have for you. COVID passed. We act as if it never happened.
True.
SIHH, or you see, I made a mistake, Freudian slip, Watches and Wonders, the old SIHH, is buzzing, it's bigger, it's growing every year.
It's very luxury, it's the best, it's la crème de la crème.
It is. Why does Geneva Watch Days still have a right to exist?
That's, I like this question because I have an anecdote to share with you. I joined Bvlgari in 21, so 1 year after the beginning of Geneva Watch Days. And one of the first meetings, Zoom meeting, I confess, that I had officially as Global Communication Director for Bvlgari Watches was about the Geneva Watch Days. And it was with those CEOs that created the first edition. And the question was an open question. Shall we do it again? Is it relevant? Do we need that? Do we want to do that? And the answer from all of them was not only a matter of business efficiency ROI, it was a gut answer. It was, yes, it was so cool. Let's do it again. And we'll see the year after. So this very special passion that we all have for watches, for the job we do, but for this, again, for this community, for this ecosystem, drove us to keep going on the Geneva Watch Days. And now, when I have meetings with the city of Geneva and with the canton of Geneva, they openly say that this is the second most important event in the year. So it's not only important for watches, but it is also important for the beating heart city of Geneva, which is amazing. And it's important that this city, like you have La Genève Internationale, you have La Genève Horlogère. And we are part of that. And we are all over the city. You know, you have the showrooms all over the city. This year we will have 60 brands, so you can imagine that it will be français, on dirait
vibrant.
Yeah, that's a nice word. With the epicenter as the pavilion, with the exhibition. One of the most important watch exhibition is we have more than 100 pieces, timepieces under the same roof. The glass box with all the cultural aspects and all the think tank aspects. For me, Geneva Watch Days is something between the Forum de Davos and the Festival d'Avignon. It's true in terms of geography, but it's also true in terms of spirit. It is to reinforce the business. It's something super important. If there is no business, then it becomes a dorming art. And the creativity, the cultural aspect, the educational aspect that we want to have, that this is one of our mission. It's a mission to answer to the eagerness of the curious, the fans, the collectors, to open the doors of the beautiful brands that join us. But it's also a very important mission towards the students, the people that would like to work for the watchmaking industry, to become a watchmaker, to become an enameler, to become a micro painter, to become a regular. So it's a variety of jobs, of artistries that we also want to open to new passions and new lives.
You got me excited. I have fond memories of these 5 years. Besides that, it's warm, it's nice. We have a club that goes swimming every morning at 7 a.m. So if you come out, join us. Everybody's welcome. You get rid of your hangover. You wake up and you're ready to go. For those that not have been, I said that I salute Catherine because she does a ungrateful and very difficult job, because this is not a Congress hall, dear listeners. She doesn't book a hall, but stands in, and it's outsourced almost. No, this is a collective that needs to work like a symbiosis. It's almost a beehive. So I don't even know how she organized it, because all the retailers that listen host a lot of events themselves. So today retailers are event organizers as well. And we know it's a métier, it's a job, it's a profession. So it's a hell of a job. It's well coordinated. There is relaxedness.
We try.
You do, because I am a consumer there. I'm a visitor of the fair. I come there as a retailer. I come there as a journalist. I come there as a watch nerd. And that's something that I also love. You guys were the first fair to embrace the collectors. It's almost as if they are the number one priority.
This is absolutely what we do.
Yeah. Watches and Wonders learned this only 2-3 years ago. They can only come on the weekend. but it's organized around the collectors. There's indeed this openness, this platform to educate and share the passion. And I can ramble on, I can go on for hours. The next guest is waiting. But what I wanted to ask you, for the professionals listening, if they want to join as a brand, what do they need to do?
Okay, so first, and for those who haven't run through the information, please take note. The dates for the 25 editions, so the 2025 editions, are from September the 4th until September the 7th. Very important that you put that on your calendar and that you book your trip. Second thing, yes, the whole event is thought first and foremost for the collectors, the watch fans, the customers, the buyers, and not as a B2B event. That's the essence of, and that's that's really the essence of the Geneva Watch Days. And that's what makes the difference, obviously, because then it drives the traffic of the press, of the retailers, because it's so organic and so different and so fun. If you are a brand, or if you want to launch your brand, because we have been assisting to some very nice birth during those 5 editions, you can send me an email, or you can write to the email of the podcast of the real show, and Alan will kindly forward that to me, and we'll discuss together. Very easy. So we are organized as an association, so there is a contribution fee, a membership fee, and then we let you organize your showroom as you wish. You can go to your retailer to do your showroom. You can take a hotel room. You can rent a space in Geneva as you wish, depending on what you want to achieve, what you want to do. It's very cost efficient, because this is you who decide how much budget you want to put in it. But any budget you want to put to it will be worth it, because you are deciding what to do with the Geneva Watch Days. You contribute to the ecosystem, and we help you to have a beautiful platform with relevant activities all along the day to balance with the visits to the showrooms and to the brands.
And I can speak for retailers, press, and consumers, because I'm all three. It's free. I believe the website, if I remember correctly by heart, but correct me if I'm wrong, is gva-watch-days.com.
Yes.
I remember, my memory is still working. It's free. Register. Come. It's fun. It's very accessible. So, dear press, there was some noises last year that they didn't get an invitation. It's so accessible. You don't need an invitation.
Then all welcome.
We said that in stereo. So please do your homework. Just go to the website. Registration is for free. Consumers, don't be daunted. Don't be scared. Talk to your retailer. Talk to your favorite media outlet podcast. TLKS community is coming.
Cool.
Yeah.
Take a train, take a plane, take your car, come by foot or by bike. The pavilion is open to all. As you said, there is no entry fee. And you will find an amazing exhibition of the brands participating to the association. You will find a culture hub where you will learn everything about the history of the watchmaking, about the training you can get, about archives, about brands with some amazing international partners. You will be able to attend to a bunch of activities in the glass box, and we are brainstorming to elaborate even more the activities for this edition. I cannot tell you more now, but you will have bright surprises. And again, you will have the opportunity, even as a visitor, to go to see more than 60 showrooms open to you and waiting for you.
While listening to you add a brainwave, I believe in experience marketing. So those that are coming swimming every morning at 7 o'clock, we should ask all the participating brands with dive watches to put a little table, put a watch.
Yeah, a test,
you can test it, go swim with it. And then we'll do a little raffle after the end of the week. Who swam the fastest lap can win one of the watches. What do you think of my idea, Catherine?
Super cool. I love that.
So if you want a dive watch, spam Geneva Watch Days and tell them it was a good idea. You heard it first on the Real Time Show. Catherine.
Sure. Let's do that.
Thank you so much.
I like the idea. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Bye-bye all.
You missed this interview with our dear friend and this so elegant and fun Catherine. Obviously, she has a double role, as you heard, because besides organizing, all of Geneva Watch Days for 5 years already, she's also head of PR for Bvlgari Watches. And you, Rob, and I, we visited the new booth at Watches and Wonders in the Palexpo. What was your takeaway of what they've done this year at Bvlgari?
Oh my God, don't even get me started. Honestly, I might be about to blow up the mic. I adore everything that Bvlgari has done this year. You know I'm a huge fan of the Serpenti. There was one model in particular that I took more photos of than any other watch during the entire week over all of the fairs, and that was this new, I believe it's white gold, diamond-studded with rubies Serpenti. It is heavenly. It is pristine work. The stone setting is exquisite. Everything about that watch speaks to me. Now, I'm not as huge a fan of the new bangle Serpentis, the sort of fixed models that don't wrap around the wrist as much, just go down around the one time. They're a bit edgier, a bit more abstract, not quite as obviously a snake. I think that they're a great addition to the collection, and I like the fact that they're playing around with the snake concept and taking it in new directions and not resting on their laurels, and that is great to see. And what about that cuff, that jewelry studded cuff that honestly I can just see on the wrist of Cleopatra? It looks like treasure. This is what I love about Bvlgari. Everything about their high jewelry and high concept watchmaking is pushing the envelope. And if I've said this before, but if aliens come to Earth after we've destroyed civilization and they dig up any watch, I would choose it to be the Serpenti, because they'd be like, what on earth lived here? At one point, these people were crazy. They made this stuff and they wore it on their wrists. I mean, it's like the jewelry of gods. What do you think?
Well, we're on the same wavelength. I don't have enough balls to rock it like you do, but I love the Serpentis. And it's amazing how much creativity they have and how much they can push the envelope on variations and evolution of that iconic watch. I wanted to ask you now on the technical side of things. What did you think of the idea of creating a tractor caliber for ladies? So they launched more than a year ago the Piccolino, so the smallest mechanical caliber, hand wound. Now they made a LVMH tractor on a very small diameter, so lines. I even believe it's a successor to the famous or infamous 2000 ETA 2000 caliber. Could you elaborate on that, Rob, as a watchmaker?
Well, from a watchmaking perspective, obviously, there's a lot of problems with small movements. They get exponentially harder to control the finer and smaller the gearing gets. And you're really pushed as a watchmaker when you're assembling these pieces in some ways to just get them to work, because machines of this size don't work in the way that they should work. You can have all the technical files perfect. You can build them in CAD and you can run your testing programs. So you can see that everything's engaging correctly. And theoretically, it should function without incident or issue. But in reality, when you're working with such fine components, one of the issues that you run into as a watchmaker is not necessarily, how can I put this, tolerances, machining tolerances, although they're extremely tight now in comparison to what they were in the past. they still exist, and they become exponentially more present when components reduce in size. So your tolerances, although you can tighten your tolerances as much as you want theoretically, but in reality, you're always going to find that there are slight variations between parts. And so what you run into as a watchmaker is the situation where two components that engage with one another both pass QC because they're both within the tolerances of the CNC machine or gear cutter that you're using to make them. But if they happen to be on the extreme ends of the tolerances in opposite directions, so one is like on the smallest end and one is on the largest end, those minuscule differences, and we're talking microns, are actually relatively much bigger than they would be in a caliber like an ETA 6498, classic, or Unitas 6498, 6497 pocket watch movement that you find in many watches around the world. Like Schofield uses a variation of it on its new Obscura, for example, so it still gets use, and it's extremely easy to assemble because it's more like assembling a car engine, or an old car engine, where you just drop in the cogs, and your tolerances are basically like an open barn door in comparison to what we're talking about here. You find that maybe those incremental differences in extremely small components manifest in a watch that doesn't even run. And so you oftentimes, I find, at least when working with extremely fine mechanics, you'll have like 5 or 6 versions of every wheel sort of on your bench, and then you just got to pick and choose the ones that are friendly to each other and work. But Bvlgari's got the power of LVMH behind it. They have a huge amount of cash for research and development, and they have spent a long time making sure that this movement, despite its minute diameter, is as robust, reliable, and easy to operate and assemble as possible. And I think it's a great addition to the lineup from a branding perspective. Do I think it's necessary for models like the Serpenti to have a mechanical and even automatic option? I actually don't really, because I think that this is craft and artisanship more than it is necessarily high technical watchmaking. And so I don't think anyone buys a Serpenti for the movement. Will people buy a Serpenti because of this movement now? I would say probably not. They might choose to have the mechanical or the automatic over the quartz because it's an option, and they may covet that. And I think it's great that that option is available, because there are a lot of women who are really into the mechanics as well and would buzz off having that on their wrist. But I think overall, like it wasn't as essential to the brand as it maybe is for some brands to have like mechanical offerings. But it's great that they've done it, and I think it's a bit of a flex, really. It just shows like what they're able to do because of their size and their know-how, their shared savoir-faire within the LVMH. And I'm glad to see it. I think it's good news. I think it's great for getting some column inches and people writing about these watches, and it certainly eliminates any potential point of criticism when someone might shrug and say, oh, it doesn't matter how good the Serpenti is, they're all quartz or something like that. Then there's going to be options now to negate that potential point of criticism. But I think by and large it won't have a huge impact on the range, but maybe from a perception perspective it's a very positive thing to have added.
And using that as a stepping stone, going into the stratosphere, the Formula One of watchmaking, another world record. I mean, it's so much. Can you even keep track?
No, I actually have no idea what's going on now. And these world records are extremely impressive. And again, they're, great for press releases and great for, watch nerds to obsess over. But it's just preposterous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. I can't get my head around it. Like, you look at these watches, these ultra thin watches now from the front, and they look like a normal watch. And then you walk around the side of the display case and it just disappears. It's not even there. Like, how have they done it? I don't get it. Like, I really can't fathom the fineness of those components. I mean, this is the kind of thing where the breadth of a watchmaker on those bridges and plates will be enough to warp them to the point at which there's no end shape between the wheels and the movement would stop. You must have to wear a mask or like assemble with your mouth below the bench, maybe bathe your hands in ice before you go anywhere near it, just in case your body heat is enough to put it off functionality. But I mean, what an incredible achievement. I don't think I'd ever dare wear something that thin. Does it appeal to you from a consumer perspective, or is it again something that you think is like a statement of capability?
It's the latter, but I know they're being sold and they sell out. and they have a following. And I think it is important that they do it and keep on doing it, because it showed the long game. They always envisioned it will take them a decade to get the status and respect as a jeweler, to become taken serious as a horlogerie manufacturer. And they've achieved that a decade later. So I think it's a very wise strategy.
I mean, they've achieved it, and how? Like, it's an incredible transformation. Like, there were eyebrows raised, obviously, when Bvlgari really entered the high-end watch game, but nobody's questioning it now, are they? I mean, they're one of the first names that you mention when you talk about pushing the boundaries of watchmaking and the ability that they have in-house, especially with all that jewelry background. They have a huge advantage over a lot of brands in that sphere now. So credibility is no longer a question, I think, when it comes to this. And by continuing to just destroy these world records, they're always going to be top of mind when it comes to innovators in the industry. My only question is, where do they go from here?
From stratosphere, you go to outer space and then into a black hole.
So that's the thing, right? Black hole. So I'm thinking, if this watch keeps getting any thinner, it's going to get into negative millimeters soon. It'll actually...
Yeah, like the interest used to be.
Yeah.
No, interesting. Kudos to Bvlgari, and we can't wait to have our dear friend Fabrizio Buonamassa back on the show. I actually did not see him this whole week.
No, me neither. But I mean, I spent most of my time in that little glass igloo outside Villa Sarasan. So there are a lot of people that I unfortunately missed that I normally would have had a chance to catch up with. But I mean, Fabrizio's not going anywhere, is he? He's one of the industry's modern legends, I think. So we'll get him on the show again soon, and I can't wait for that either.
And to circle back to the conversation about Geneva Watch Days, stay tuned. We're having some brainstorm sessions with Catherine to try to do something cool this summer in Geneva.